T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
LadyChann! Fight!
Yo, hey girl, it's LadyChann repping Unless and welcome to Comebox with Chan. Sorry, I am mega late. No, mega late, like super late. And it's all my fault. Just, you know when things happen lastminute.com and then you're like, didn't even put rings on, you know, I always have my rings. Couldn't even, forgot them and I thought, nah, forget it now, girl, forget it. Thank you for joining me on this Monday evening where we are gonna chop shit up. Let's get this get in order. Let's get in the colada, you know. Let's have a look at this over here. Some right as a raindrop over here. Also get my banner up. Let's get this banner, the other one. Let's edit. No thanks. Okay. Just quickly get this. So Katie Taylor. Katie. I think I've already got most of it. Katie Taylor. Beat Amanda Serrano. Beat Amanda Serrano. Okay, hang on. This cold is really just doing my old life in. Okay. I hate when it's got hair on it. Serrano. Mexicans go at Shakur Stevenson. Oh God, it's been quite bad. Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting. That's my Alexa. Don't know what she's doing. Mexicans. So try restarting it. Go. Hope you lot have had a good old day. Oh God, she wants to say a lot of stuff. Shakur Stevenson. Stevenson. This is the weekly wrap-up show. I'll put it in its acronyms. TWWUS. Weekly wrap-up show. That's what that means. Just in case everybody goes, what does that mean? I don't know. Okay, so we're here. So, without further ado, I'm introducing, introducing Kitty Cat and HA all day. What up, yo?
Yo.
Hey, HA. Hello, LadyChann.
LadyChann, Ken. How's it going, y'all?
My bad for this lateness. It's really bad, but it weren't all entirely my fault, by the way. But hey, shit happens.
Shit happens. That's right.
Yeah, shit happens. Kenny, AJ, we had a good weekend of boxing.
Excellent weekend.
Let's kick it off let's kickstart it off. Kenny, go on, dive in. What's the first bit that we're gonna start from?
Well, I've got an announcement as well, which is very important. First and foremost, first of all, it's disappointing for Zach Parker. He's going to have a super middlerweight eliminator with Dimitri Andre, but Dimitri Andre's pulled out of a shoulder injury. So the fight at Derby County's Pride Park Stadium has been headline has been postponed. But in terms of like what we saw at the weekend, we saw some very good boxing. Shakur Stevenson, which was a bigger event for me, should have been than the Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fight, and that's no disrespect to women's boxing. It's just that I thought it was a bigger event, undisputed for the featherweight titles. Shakur Stevenson, punch perfect performance against the game.
But can we start with?
Of course, we can do it. But we go Katie Taylor. The one thing about the Katie Taylor fight is, it depends on it depends on what side of the Atlantic you're on. The Americans think that Serrano should have got the fight, and down here in the other side of the Atlantic in Britain, we think Katie Taylor won pretty clearly. For me, I think Amanda Serrano got greedy. He got greedy after the 6, went headhunting instead of varying her punches, ran out of gas, enabled Katie Taylor to get a win in the 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th round, nick all those rounds, and she cost herself the fight because of greed. If she'd gone for the body, which, like I said, varied her attacks, she probably would have come out the winner, because when she did try and get a second win, Katie Taylor saw those punches coming. A lot of Katie Taylor's punches in those rounds weren't landing as such. But what's happened is that when you throw punches, you throw combinations at speed that she does, and the footwork's right. She cons judges into giving these decisions. But for me, greed isn't good when it comes to headhunting. Too many fighters I've seen got greedy. Natasha Jonas got greedy against Terry Harper, looking for the one punch. What happened? She cost herself a title, but got a draw. But, before I start, I wanted to say something to Stefan Ball. He's slagging off fans who got a different opinion to the result, the judges' scorecard. Saying,
who's Stefan Ball?
Steffi Ball. He's Terry Harper's trainer. You hear more from Steffi Ball than you hear from Terry Harper. But he says that if people think Taylor didn't win, they don't know boxing. Well, Stefan, mate, it's all about opinions. Just because you're a trainer doesn't make your opinion right. I could easily say people who know about boxing knows that you and Eddie Hearn pulled out too many stops to over promote your charge Terry Harper, and you cost Terry Harper a good beating. Now, you don't need to know about boxing to know that your fighter was never ready for Michaela Meyer, but all you thought about was pound signs. So if you're going to say people don't know about boxing, well, we know just as much that your charge isn't as good as you say it is.
Oh, Kenny. I'll have to disagree with you in parts. I think for not about the Harper thing, not about that. Congratulations, Frank Warren. Take note on how to produce a stellar undercard.
Come on, not that one again.
A stellar undercard. Yeah, that was one of the best undercards that could match that momentous occasion. Stellar undercard. I even watched the prelims. The prelims was even better than the prelims were better than Frank Warren's co-main. Taras.
What were the fights like? Tell me when we watched.
Williams.
Were they good fights though?
Williams.
You had your five. You had Sky Nicholson on there. French Cruz.
Yeah. It was action,
Smith and Vargas. All that was good.
Vargas.
Smith and Vargas was a brilliant fight for Beefy Smith.
Yeah. Very good fight.
That undercard was like I said, we watched from the prelims more or less, and it was stellar. I mean, Amo Williams starts a 17-0 in one round, which everybody wouldn't have been able to absolutely predict that happening. Then we had, I didn't see the Sky Nichols one, AJ. What happened with that? She got the win.
Oh yeah. She usually cruised to a points decision. Just schooled her opponent, and she got a knockdown in the last, the final seconds of the last round. So yeah.
Yeah. And then we had who else did we have? We had Yafai.
He took out.
The Olympian.
He took out his
2 rounds.
2 rounds. 2 rounds. That 2 rounds. That was it. Yep.
2 rounds. Amazing. It was just pace. We had who else did we have? We had another women's undisputed, Franchon Cruz.
And, that was a brilliant fight.
Oh wow.
Cerrone.
Yeah.
Cerrone.
That was a slobber knocker.
That was a total madness. Sorry guys, I didn't even say hello to you lot. Hang on. My bad. Tony Lyons is in the building. Mr. Krabs is in the building. Oh, okay. So, Mr. Krabs, you got to go. How about that? Yeah, you got to go. Tony Lyons in the building. Bold and Understanding in the building. TY in the building. Ben Adams in the building. Carl Hunter Hansen in the building. What up, Joe? The 6 o'clock Phantoms in the building. Sawab in the building. What up, Sawab? Nathan Ford is in the building. Yeah. So,
salute to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, salute to everybody in the chickadee chat. Yes. So that was Eid Mubarak to yourself, sir. Definitely. So yeah, we had. Who did we just say? So we had the women's undisputed super middleweight. That was a good fight. Good fight. We had Clarissa Shields down at the fight as well. You know,
all the women was there. They all packed the house.
We had a black female ref. Yep. Eddie pulled out the stops. Like it was a great event. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry. I mean, last week we had that lukewarm Frank Warren thingy that we've just all forgotten about.
Oh Lord, I did.
We had Jesse Vargas against Liam Dickens. Yeah, I mean Liam Smith. Maybe Dickens. I was thinking of Jazzy Dickens.
Jesse talked a good game. He tried, but he eventually came up short. So
yeah. So if that ain't a card, Hector Garcia, mi esposo in the building. So if that wasn't a card, it was stacked. And like we said, ammo. We had it was just like fast action paced. It was just action Jackson. Yeah, it was amazing. So right. So where are we just gonna jump straight in? Katie Taylor beats Amanda Serrano. Did she or did she not?
Well, Chan, we know.
You go.
Okay, yeah. We did the you can. I'm actually one of the few Americans who thinks that Amanda Serrano did not win. We did the rewatch here on the channel with Chan, and I had it a draw. Yes, it was dead. It was dead even. So and honestly, you could argue that you could argue Katie. It was either a draw or Katie just did enough to nick it by like maybe 1 or 2 rounds. That's what I see happening. But Amanda did not win, but it was a close competitive fight, and I wouldn't mind him running it back. I really wouldn't, you know. But but a great event, great card from start to finish. Definitely pay-per-view worthy. I definitely would not have had an issue coughing up $75 to $80 for it. So what's up, Chan? You want to say something? Or
no. Sorry, I was just waving to the crowd. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I definitely would not have an issue paying for it. And Chan is right. It's like you need to. Frank Warren needs to take notes. That's how you do an undercard. For that was pay-per-view worthy right there. You know, so. Kind of want my money back from White Fury, if I'm being honest. But Ken, I mean, like you were talking about, you brought up Steffi Bull. Like I actually happen to think that Natasha Jonas beat Terry Harper in that fight. Believe it or not.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But she got a bit greedy though with the because you know the southpaw stance. Because I think a lot of fighters sometimes, you know, they get greedy, and because the thing is that in terms of like she hurt Katie Taylor very, very badly, and Katie Taylor was about to go. But the thing about it is that when she's hurt and she gets that 1 minute, Katie Taylor's expecting the head hunting because you know Serrano's got a lot of power in that left hand. Obviously, she's like I said, she's a smaller fighter, but she brought her power up until that weight. The problem is that I looked at what she was doing, and she got greedy. And then because she got greedy, looking for that headshot, looking to get her out, instead of varying her shots, she felt tired. And then you could see from about round 7 or 8, she was actually spent. And that what happened is that gave Katie Taylor the opportunity to use her footwork in order to get herself out of trouble and then throw her hands and throw combinations. Now, a lot of those combinations, Serrano was blocking them. There was the odd shot that was hurt, but shot that went down a pipe. A lot of British, like I said, boxing fans are saying that the commentary was biased. Even famous boxers in this country were saying it was biased because the American commentator tended to emphasise the fact that Serrano, whenever Serrano caught Katie Taylor, it was Katie Taylor
do the same thing. The British commentators
it was like British commentary.
It's the same thing on like All Brock, ESPN, like it's everywhere. Like they always cap for the house, like the fighter that they want to win. So
yeah, but there were times in terms of like what I was saying for Katie Taylor. If there's any ever a petition for 3-minute rounds, that's one of them. Because I'm sure that if Amanda Serrano had more time, especially in round 5, I think Katie Taylor would be out on her ass. And I think there's no reason for any, boxing fan to, have to put up with 2-round fights for the women. You should get 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds. You're fit enough. There's no reason whatsoever.
That's exactly what I was saying. I said, like, if this had been a 3-minute, 12-round fight, somebody would have hit the deck and got stopped.
Oh,
it would have been Katie. It would have been Katie. It would have been Katie.
Well, I don't know, mate.
She was about to go in the 10th.
Yeah, that too. I mean, but Kendra, like, there's also the carrier, like just to continue what you were saying. Like when Amanda had Katie hurt, it's like she just kind of threw with reckless abandon to just really get her at her. It wasn't like he wasn't composed, it wasn't focused, it wasn't anything like that. Because like you look at somebody like a Terrence Crawford, right? Who anytime he gets somebody hurt, like literally 9 times out of 10 he finishes them off, and you wonder like, how is he? That's why I'm saying it's like I don't feel I feel bad for Errol when that fight happens. I really do. Like. I mean, like the same thing here. Like, let's just say, like, Amanda had the instincts of a finishing instance of a Crawford. Oh man, Katie would have been done. It would have been done, man.
Yeah. In my opinion, so when I was watching it, off of the what I just was logging down, I had it a draw when at first watching it, and then we did a rewatch yesterday, and I come up with 95, a draw again. So
I mean, but our rounds were different. Remember, Chan? We like scored different rounds.
Yeah,
but it was still a draw. We still had it even.
Yeah, but me and you had
incidentally, what
Lisa
sort of
had it? I think 6-4.
Before at round 6, how did you guys have it? After round 6,
I gave. I gotta go back and look at my card. Let me see.
I gave that to Serrano. I gave Serrano 5-6.
The scores going up. The scores. If we're going into the 7th round, what was your scores? Your scores up until the 7th round in terms of.
I had it even. I had it even. It was even for me going into the 7th.
I think near enough. Me, I had Katie. I can't remember. Katie Serrano winning the first round. Katie winning the second. Serrano winning the. No, Katie win. Serrano. Let me have a look at the scorecard.
You can. I had it even in my scorecard going into the 7th.
Even up to round 6. Up to round 6. Going to round 7, I had Serrano 3 rounds up.
Oh wow!
Up to round 7, I had up until round 7. Until round 7, I had Serrano 5 rounds, and she didn't win any rounds after the 7th round. So she ran round 1, 3. 5, 6, and 7 for me.
Yeah, I had a 3. You had a 3 for Taylor, 3 for Serrano going into round 7. It was even for me. But then after round 7, wow. I gave a See, after then round 7, I gave to Serrano. Round 8, I gave to Katie. Round 9 to Serrano. Then round 10 to Katie.
Yeah. And you had a? What did you have? Ken?
Well, I had Serrano getting. I had Serrano 3 rounds up until round 7, and I gave Katie Taylor 7, 8, and 9, and I Serrano up, and I gave her number 10. So on my card, I had Serrano winning by a round, but it was a but I can understand they were subjective. That when I saw how the fight, I said to myself, you know what, she's thrown it away. She's given this fight away because I've given her a round up. But other judges would probably give Katie Taylor. Maybe give it her by 3 rounds, and that's what one judge did.
Yeah, one scorecard was way wide.
97, 93.
It was way wide. Yeah.
Which I didn't agree with, which was just stupid.
I mean, you're gonna get that. I mean, like, yeah, that's expected. That's usually what happens in like a fight like this. You know, there's one judge gives a BS scorecard that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Always.
If you guys notice something else as well, whenever the fight, whenever it's a split decision, they don't normally say a split decision. That you kind of, if we go by the pattern of, say, Catherall and Taylor, when Catherall was named the winner on one judge's scorecard, my heart stopped because when my heart stopped, normally when it's this close, the third and final judge's scorecard always goes to the champion, or it's a draw.
Always.
Yeah.
I mean, like in fights to this match, like when they say split decision, it's like I kind of like put my head down a bit because I know the challenger didn't win. I got a feeling, you know what I mean? Like they didn't take it.
Yeah. So hang on. So the first card was announced that it was Katie Taylor. That judge.
No, Serrano.
Serrano.
Okay. The first. Okay.
Then Katie. I mean, and then
I knew Katie would win the third. I knew Katie would win the third.
Yeah,
always the way it does. I mean, it's like about that judge, like about that judge who seems to fill out the scorecard in the parking lot, who gives a whack scorecard. Like, it just makes you wonder. It's like, what happened, bro? Really? Like that's just. I just want to kind of like really inquire. So like take those judges aside, but like you guys get what you guys know what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm implying. It always seems to happen, like always, like with just one judge. And honestly, it's getting exhausting. It really is.
I think what's happened is that judge isn't going to be like a moron. I can't even name. I don't even want to name him because he just makes me angry. But
he's a pork chop. He's a pork chop.
A pork chop. Absolutely pork chop. I'm not naming him. I say he's a misplaced, and he like I said, he can't. I said he lives in Gillingham in Kent, but he's an absolute pork chop. But this wasn't a pork chop.
Oh, just the judge. These judges.
Oh, a judge. Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the Taylor Catherall, but this one wasn't. This wasn't one where you thought was a robbery, unless you're a staunch Amanda Serrano fan. It wasn't such a robbery. I think Amanda Serrano, either she's a very good sportswoman, or she's basically a very good businesswoman. I thought, you know what, I've done some serious numbers here, because
she's an athlete as well.
But if I was a trainer, I'll be giving her a great dressing down for the way she approached that fight. Where
she did. I mean, she let Katie get back into it by the later rounds.
Yeah, she didn't realize as much until I watched it the second time. It's like, damn, she let Katie.
I didn't need to watch it the second time.
Right back into the fight. Yeah,
I got everything I needed to see in the first watch, and I was thoroughly entertained. I had it scored. That's what my scorecard said, 96-94. That's how close I had it.
Who to?
I had it to Taylor, 96-94.
Hey sis. Hey Lise.
Hey Lisa.
Hi everybody. Hi everybody. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. I have the same scorecard as you, Electrojet.
Did you?
96 to 94 in favor of Taylor.
I was getting mad at every channel I went to. That I hear the narrative. Oh, she was robbed. No, stop it.
Yeah, she wasn't.
Pull your head out your ass. Slow down. Slow your roll. And breathe a little. She lost.
Right.
It was close, but she lost.
Let me just one sec, Electro. Let me just so I was just letting you guys in, and I just forgot my train of thought. So the judge. So that one judge, he's never gonna be ousted. Judges need to explain their fucking scorecards. But okay, so we're all of agree. So Ken, you think most of the US people scored it that Serrano won, and then us vice versa?
Well, I'm only going by the Twitter feed. So I follow. I go in because I talk about boxing. I get access to all the Twitter feeds, and it's different. I think what's happened is that I think a lot of British, boxing pundits are quite very arrogant and very dismissive of the public's viewpoints on fights. Let me tell you something now. We get wall-to-wall boxing nowadays that we never had in the 80s and definitely not in the 70s, where what we were getting was just the highlights. We're rarely getting live boxing. Now where we're getting a lot of live boxing, where we've got a choice of, different promoters and different TV stations. British boxing fans ain't fools no more. They're not. They're never fools in the first place, but they're not fools. They know a bit about the fight game, and they can, they can do their own judges' scorecards. And when they compare their scorecards, it's no different to what the judges come up with. Sometimes it's really wide, but I think there's a lot of boxing fans who know their sport. So I was quite irritated with the way, people like Stefan Ball were being with fans being very dismissive, and the way you felt like certain fighters, I won't name them, who have been very condescending towards fight fans who thought that Serrano must have had it. It was close. It wasn't a case of. It wasn't a case of the way people are giving Katie Taylor, she won by 4 rounds. I think that's a bit over the top, don't you think? She didn't win by 4 rounds. It's close.
Of course
no way. No way.
Like everyone on the panels just said, how close.
Yeah.
They've kind of.
I mean, Kenny, honestly, if you rewatched it, Ken, you probably have a different scorecard the second time around. You might score differently if you saw it again.
I think what's happened is that I've watched it. Well, I haven't watched it again because the reason why I haven't watched it again because my attitude has always been, you know what, I get where the judges are coming from, because I could think, right, there were certain rounds that I gave to Serrano which were subjective. There were clear rounds, maybe in the earlier rounds that Serrano won, but when you look, maybe the first couple of rounds is subjective. So I accept that. Maybe, it wasn't a case of where I needed to watch it again. But obviously, going back to what the debacle we saw in in February, I had to watch it 3 or 4 times to see if I was going mad, and I was so satisfied that I had all my faculties in place, because that was genuine robbery. But in terms of this fight, I get it, but this is one time you can blame the challenger for handing the fight on the plate to Katie Taylor. The only good thing that comes out of it, Serrano still keeps her belts. She's made 7 figures, and that's a good thing about it. And they could do it again. But one thing about it is that it may not be as close as before. Katie Taylor could run away with it. Look what happened with Pursoon. First time,
that's what I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying.
In a close fight. Second fight, Katie Taylor knew what she was getting into. She knew she never got her opponent. What's happened? She got a clear points victory, because she's one of those intelligent fighters who said, right, I won't forget this fight. I won't forget their weaknesses and their strengths. I'll neutralise their strengths, exploit their weaknesses. And I think this could happen in a rematch. Fight fans may be very, very disappointed at any rematch that may occur in the Republic of Ireland.
Right.
I put it to you this way about the fight. If Serrano were, look, the way I got it, the rounds that Serrano won, she clearly won. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. She clearly won those rounds. The rounds that she didn't win, a lot of them were very close rounds.
Yeah.
Then you had to jump into, okay, who had ring generalship, who threw the most, the most effective punches, this, that, and the other. Okay, that's how I ended up giving Katie Taylor a couple of the rounds. If Amanda would have got one more, I mean one more solid round under her belt, she could have got away with winning the fight. She could have got away with winning the fight. But it wasn't meant to be. But I do think that this fight was such a good fight that they put so much out there that they're going to do it again, and it's going to be worth even more money. Especially if they do it in Ireland. They're going to fill up a 90K stadium real quick.
What, in Ireland?
Yeah.
No, they ain't be doing nothing, It's Eddie. Eddie, what's happened? There's an incident that happened there.
You're talking about with Kinahan. You the Hutchins and Kinahan.
Oh yeah.
A death and Amanda Serrano. Katie Taylor's dad died, didn't he?
No, he's still alive.
Is he alive?
No, what it was is that
the other lad got shot.
No, it was someone's got shot because one of the Hutch's henchmen dressed up as a woman. It's basically a drugs war between the Hutch's, Dublin families, the Hutch's and the Kinahans. Hence the fact that Daniel Kinahan's got a bounty in his head in the United States.
Yeah, so not a good idea, Eddie. I don't know if Eddie forgot, but not a good idea.
That stuff is spreading to like all his
Well, what did that have to do with her father, though? I'm confused.
He was at the he was also at the event, and I think he was also at the event, and it's just a load of turmoil, and just some overlapping stuff that I just don't know too much about to just go into it, to be honest. But yes.
Okay. I thought they were two separate incidents. I know the father had got shot. Yeah. No. Oh, okay. Thanks.
So so I mean, it'd just be too much. Don't know even if that would be. I don't know if even if that would be allowed to happen there. Do you know what I mean? So Eddie saying that, I don't know if he's realised, if he's so yeah. So I just think just have it again in MSG Part 2.
That's what I was saying. Like, yeah, put it back there again. It'll be even bigger this time around. The second time around. Like, yeah, like, why not?
MSG.
Why not?
It was a great. Lisa, what did you think about the fight itself and having the rematch and how your eyes saw it? Because then we,
I thought the fight was amazing. It was an instant classic. Looking at it from the eye test, you would have thought that maybe Amanda won because she was really the effective aggressor.
Yeah,
she was just coming forward. She was walking her down. She was cutting the ring off. She was also implementing a lot of body work.
Right.
So she was up and down, up and down, up and down, but in that 5th round, I thought Katie was gone, but Katie got a chin, man. Both of those women got chins. I was like, whoa. So I was like, wow. And then that last round, I was like, OMG.
Gatty Ward, we kept saying.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if Amanda got a knockdown, that would have sealed it.
Yeah, it probably would have. But you know what?
It would have been.
She may have one more in her, but I would suggest she retire. I mean, who am I to tell people what to do?
Which one, Amanda or Katie?
Katie, because taking that type of punishment.
No, you just said
like
Amanda.
That,
you said Amanda's got one more.
No, I mean Katie.
Katie got one more.
I mean Katie.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying because if she, if they fight a rematch and it's another war, that takes so much out of you, man.
Honestly, I think now she's on borrowed time, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Amanda could beat her.
If she could. She could.
Yeah.
Well, they both know the blueprint of each other. One knows you can't trade, and the other one knows if you force that other one to trade, you probably beat her.
Yeah, you'll get the better of the exchange.
One's got a trade.
Got a brawl. Yeah. I mean, it's a shame that it's a shame Amanda's not better at cutting the ring off if she was, Man.
Yeah.
She was, but Katie was dipping out. But I think Katie should have spun out that corner. Yeah. Spin around. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, but yeah, Katie does have fast hands, man. Because when we was watching it yesterday, I saw shots that I didn't realize I was seeing that I didn't see the first time around. I was like, damn. Like, especially when it was when Katie got her legs back, I think in like round 8. Would you guys all say that she got her legs back round 8?
Yeah, round 8 for sure.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Round
8.
Rana was knackered by then. She was knackered by then.
Have a look if you see
round 8. I'm looking at my notes. Taylor got her round 8. She got her legs back. She definitely got her legs back around 8. I got the notes right here.
Yeah, I got it on my fight score.
To be truthful, I almost not. I didn't, but I almost gave it because that hit was really hard that Katie took from Amanda.
Was you like the judge and scored it a 10-8?
I almost did a 10-8, but I didn't see she didn't lose total function, so I didn't give her the 10-8 round. I just gave her I gave it a 9-point round.
Hey guys,
go ahead, Kenny. Sorry.
Oh, guys, I was about to ask you. Towards the end of when we're talking about the 2-minute rounds and that in the interest of fairness to the aggressor, that we should really be considering 12 3-minute rounds. There's nothing to tell me that women cannot fight the same amount of rounds as men, because I looked at it towards the end of the 10th round. Katie Taylor was ready to go again. She got wobbled, and I was thinking, if say Amanda had more time, I think she could have put her on her ass and taken her out. She was going. She was when they were both trading and training. There was one time when Amanda finally got after 3 rounds of Tyler, she got a backhand, caught Taylor. Taylor stumbled forward, and yet I felt one of her back leg go, and I was thinking, Jesus Christ! And the bell went. I went, you need 3-minute rounds, girls, because
they do, don't
she's
they?
ready to go on the 10th.
It's like what's funny. I've noticed that pattern in other fights to where the girl has like another has somebody else hurt, and they can come close to finishing, but then the bell rings, and they don't get the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's those rounds went by like wildfire, like so quick.
Yeah, that's the one thing. That's one drawback is I really do believe they should be 3-minute rounds. I can understand 10 rounds, but I do believe they should be 3-minute rounds.
But there's no money for them. They're like, if we have 3 minutes, we need the same
more
money
money
as the men, which is true.
Yeah,
I think what's happening, if you look at women's sport in general, I'm not just talking about boxing, but I think what's happened is that women's sport should learn a lot from how women's soccer players get paid in your country, the USA, because you're the leaders in that. Because I would say that people like Megan Rapinoe, a lot of stuff she's saying which kind of rings true, because a lot of the women's sports now are filling stadiums. They should be getting a sponsorship. Over here, I don't know if you guys like a game called cricket. I think it's an okay game.
They don't have cricket. They don't have cricket in America.
LadyChann's West Indian. LadyChann's West Indian, so she must love cricket. But women cricketers in this country,
played it. Don't like watching.
They're getting a lot of like I said, exposure and blah blah. And I think what's happening now is it will get to a situation. They'll never get as big as the men, because the reason why I say it's the greatest respect to women is that most women.
I was on the cricket team.
Rather watch men's boxing, men's football, men's cricket, rather than support their own. So that is where they're probably going to be lacking. But in terms of like what Eddie Hearn's done, the promotion as well, and I know Sky are doing a big thing as well. The money will go up. The money will go up. But if I was Clifford Shields, I don't think you're going to be getting your 7 figures for fighting Savannah Marshall, because that fight won't sell as well as this one would. Just can't see it.
Amanda Serrano got 500,000. Katie Taylor's been getting $1 million a fight for the last.
That's how much Amanda got. She got that much.
Yeah, so I think Clarissa Shields, wouldn't she be in not the million bracket, but wouldn't she be in the 6?
Well, what are the purse splits for a fight like that with Clarissa and Savannah? Like, how would you split it? Like would you give Clarissa more money or Savannah? Like, would they do a 50-50? Like, how would that work exactly?
No, can't do 50-50 because Clarissa Shields is got more.
That's why I'm asking. Yeah, that's why I agree. Because technically it's in Savannah's backyard too, as well. So that's what
I wonder. I don't know how much. I don't know. It's never been really reported how much that purse would be.
Well, she was asked for 750. She's asked for 750,000 English pounds
last
to fight.
time, didn't it? Remember?
3 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah. So and Eddie went, no way. Eddie turned that down and said, "No, I can't afford that. You don't generate that." But I mean, she's not going to get more than Amanda Serrano, is she? At this point,
I don't know.
Not with Savannah Marshall.
I mean, because you were saying Eddie had said that to Clarissa, right, when Clarissa asked for how much she wanted, and Eddie turned it down.
Yeah, against Savannah Marshall, though. That's not.
I understood at the time. I just saw that Clarissa was pricing herself out back then, because because if he's paying you more than you made, like already in your career,
I think she deserves it. Her accolades alone, she deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but then
that's
again,
just my opinion.
Weighing that up, you're weighing that up. Like, if she's not really a draw, could you argue?
But she don't generate it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she doesn't generate it. Yeah, and that was what Eddie was saying. Eddie kind of said that, we'd love to give them more money, but she doesn't. The women in general don't generate that much.
Like a lot of money. I think Katie Taylor probably is the highest paid woman right now. Who's currently fighting now? So yeah. Like she's the only one I know is like making them like $1 million per fight at least, you know. So
yeah, $1 million. She makes $1 million per fight. I don't know how she generates it. I don't know.
I mean, she's mostly fought. I mean, like was this her first headline show?
Taylor.
Yeah. I mean, was this her first
she
headline
makes
card?
$1 million a fight.
Has she headlined the card?
She's very well promoted.
This is her first headline card. Is she not?
Because she's fought on undercards prior, like
she's
in the past 5 fights.
Undercards, but is she?
Yeah. There's like ever since the
I've
pandemic
seen
started,
her headline on the zone before.
I know
I've seen her headline.
I know she was on big undercards on the zone, but
she headlined
undercards, but I don't know if
she headlined with Delphine Pursoon on the
that
zone.
Was in the
second fight.
Oh no! That was
the one in the garden.
The first fight, the first fight was on the AJ Ruiz undercard. Then the second fight was on the White Povetkin undercard. The rematch.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that was in the garden, isn't it, in Brentwood?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that was in the pandemic. No, yeah, she hasn't headlined.
Am I gonna look that up now? I wonder if
she might have, but not them 2 fights.
Yeah.
Them fights, she was on undercards. She's always been on big undercards, like AJ
for big fights, yeah. So yeah,
big fights, right? On the big, but I'm not sure.
I mean, just what I was trying to say. I mean, just what I was just.
But Clarissa always headlined her shows, from what I remember.
Yeah, but no one watches.
Well, I can't say all the time. Yeah.
I mean, she headlined with who you call it, Christina Hammer, and
no one watched them though.
But nobody saw him. That's the thing, you know.
Yeah. Showtime.
That's why I was trying to say. I'm not like all up in arms about what Eddie was saying, because like if he was already going to pay you your highest purse, then like you should be arguing. You know what I mean? Like, why do you want more? That's unless you want more.
Well, you gotta know your worth. That's the way I feel.
That's
what I'm saying. Yeah. If nobody watches your fights, and the stats are that you don't garner this amount of money. If everybody, why doesn't America know her worth? Because she's got her highest payday coming over here.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you just don't take the first offer, and you may take the second or third, and you get what you want.
I give Clarissa credit for fighting.
I've seen that happen.
She doesn't have to do that. She could be like, I want to fight in America.
It's just business. Like, it's just business. She doesn't garner that money, so she didn't get paid it. Neither does 80 other women, sis. You know, it's not just Clarissa Shields. And I know she's decorated, but at the end of the day, if you don't, you've seen top boxers that are men that are getting paid less money, and they've got accolades, but they don't make any. They don't make that revenue. So it's not any promoter just to give out money. Be like, we've watched.
There is a way. There is a way
that nobody watched.
Yeah, but there is a way in this country for her. There is an avenue.
I'm
but
telling the truth.
The thing is, in this country, there is an avenue, but it depends on certain things, because she doesn't want to fight in the Northeast, because and I think that's I can understand that decision, because she feels that she ain't going to get a decision in the Northeast.
But in London,
in terms of your friend Sporting Icon, I'm sure you know his real name anyway. Your mate Sporting Icon, he's arguing that. The only way she's going to make the money is that if it is in the Northeast, either at the Stadium of Light, either it's Newcastle Stadium, or somewhere in Sunderland or Hartlepool, because they're saying that Clarissa Shields wants to fight in London, but the people who are going to buy tickets for that fight are going to be mostly fans of Savannah Marshall from the Northeast, who won't travel to London unless there's football. So he's put that in his show. So I don't know if that's strictly true, but what I'm trying to
signed the contract to do the fight there, and then once she saw Savannah Marshall fight in Newcastle, and then she was the guest there, she changed her mind and didn't want it to be in thingy. But then Ben Paloma said you already signed for it to be there.
Yeah, but what depends what you know, because it could be the Metrodome, or if it's at St James's Park, then we're talking. But again, in terms of like, can you see that? Can you see Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall headlining the 52,000 all-seater football stadium in Newcastle? I can't see it. Even if you stack the other cards.
I think they should have it in London.
Newcastle United's great. I can't see it working.
Yeah, I think they should have it in London.
All right. The O2, 20,000 fans in O2. Does that will they feel that?
Yeah, Oh,
Probably. I mean, I'm not sure what
no.
how popular is Savannah Marshall. She got a big fan base there.
They're both not. They're but sis. This is our point. They're both not draws here.
They're not draws. Savannah
They're
Marshall
both
hasn't got
not
the personality
draws.
to,
So
to,
that's
to-
why
she
you
hasn't got
can't
the
pay them $1
personality.
million. That's why you can't pay them £1 million, and if they don't even fill up, they don't even fill up 10,000 seats.
I mean, every time Clarissa's on, every time Clarissa's on
Who's gonna
screen,
pay? Who's gonna pay? Decorated or not decorated, £1
Can you sell
million.
the rivalry, though? Can you sell the rivalry? Can you sell
You
the
can't
fact
fill.
that
If them two together can't.
all right,
Like Wilder and Fury,
yeah,
they
but there's
got
another way you
overpaid.
can do
They
it.
can't fill the seats.
Yeah, but there's other ways you can do that. You can pull it off if you can sell the rivalry. If you can sell the fact
That's
that
what they've been doing.
but it's not just the rivalry they don't like it. There's other things you could sell. You could sell the fact that Clarissa Shields is undisputed. She's got all these belts, but if she loses to Savannah Marshall could take everything away from her. So that could be a selling point. Another selling point is the
But
fact that
everyone knows that though.
yeah, but I know, but some casuals don't. We know that. Remember, the casuals are the one who pay for these tickets, not me and you.
Yeah, but I don't think this
you're
is
a sure
aimed
thing,
towards the casual
and so's
market.
Beast, and so's AJ. But
Yeah, but I
remember,
don't
this
think
is
this is
healthy.
aimed towards the casual market. I don't think because none of
most casuals don't watch
none
him
of
in
them
boxing.
are big enough. They should. Clarissa Shields is a big name, but I don't know how. Forget Savannah Marshall because she ain't got the accolades, whatever. But what I'm saying, if there's someone that's got the accolades, undisputed, golden Olympian, yeah, she's well decorated. If you walk down the street in the UK and asked 100 people, did they know who Clarissa Shields is? How many would you reckon know who she was? Honestly,
That's fair. That's
Not
a fair
many
question.
unless you're a big boxing fan.
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like the same thing where I live in the U.S. Like I live in the big California. Like I could walk down the street and ask, hey, I could ask like 50 people, who's Vasyl Lomachenko? How many people do you think would say yes?
No, they wouldn't.
Right.
So
None of these fighters
saying.
are household names. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, so it's just like this is what shouts out to Sky Boxer. They've signed her to try and she wouldn't have signed with them if she wasn't getting her biggest so-called payday.
This fight.
So that means that this fight can't happen.
Being paid in pound sterlings, by the way, not dollars. So therefore, she wouldn't have signed if this big. It's like I keep hearing Americans saying that everyone should think, but nobody in America signed her like that. Nobody backed her over there. Like everyone's like,
Showtime.
Showtime, we're gonna cut her purses in half.
You guys are supposed to pay her £1 million, and she XYZ and this YZ. But why didn't you lot back her?
We did back her.
Clearly not enough.
Showtime was.
I'm only one person.
Showtime was gonna cut her purses.
I supported her.
Yeah, but there's not enough of you that did it.
You did, Lisa, but like not everybody did.
That's because but see, I've got to explain the whole picture. The U.S. is not behind the Olympics like they used to, and especially not women's. You know what I mean? Boxing that still hasn't really like spearheaded it. The biggest it was that I remember was this weekend it really was a big thing, but after Layla retired or whatever, but it's just not been, the Christy Martin days, but it's just I can't explain it. It's still
it's not
right. And but they didn't get behind her, but they didn't get behind none of the Olympians.
But the thing is, if this is where she Clarissa Shields kind of shot herself in the foot. Most of us think Jake Paul is a peon. He is. She went at him back and forth, cutting him down to the ground. Yeah. Watch the 180 that I saw that happened on the weekend. Cutting him down to the ground, even when Jake Paul just literally went silent and didn't even disrespect her. She was like, yeah, you're trash. You make the sport of boxing a mock, whatever. Cool. He didn't respond. She kept going at him. He didn't respond. Then boom, what, couple years later, then she goes into, you know, MMA, she gets beat, then Jake Paul goes like, you know, calm as a bitch. Yeah, like, aha. And then she was like, talking to him again, saying, you this, you that, you that. Now, if she would have just kept her mouth quiet, she would have been Amanda Serrano.
Yeah. Potentially, possibly.
He would have been.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny.
That's a high possibility because now, when she was at the fight on Saturday, she didn't stand on her square. The first thing she said when they brought up Jake Paul, oh, you know, he's great for boxing. And did you hear the 180? Mm-hmm. I was like,
Chan is like, it's funny, like
but now you've realized he's giving people, women, there's higher paydays now. Now you want to go down a couple of pence, but it's too late. Drake Paul said he'll never fuck with you anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like it's funny, like the whole thing. Yeah.
Likability factor with Clarissa Shields. Likability factor, because I heard that she's absolutely can be a really nice person, but she don't always put her best foot forward, does she? Sometimes shut your mouth.
I mean, that's partially the fact that she doesn't have
yourself in the foot.
Yeah, that's partially the fact that she doesn't have fans because her attitude is terrible. She's got a terrible attitude.
And this is what I'm saying, because she's so fucking decorated, and she should have. But you know, in London, a lot of London people do like her. But she should have so much people, like even here, like everywhere, just being like, "Yo, we're rocking with this girl." But the fact that your attitude precedes you, why people don't want to rock with you? Yeah, and they're always polite to see your downfall. You know, that was the same thing with Floyd Mayweather, but Floyd Mayweather made millions. That people hated him that much and people loved him that much that they paid that much to watch him. Whereas Clarissa Shields a lot of people just don't like her. And they
like,
don't like her enough.
We're still not going to buy your fights. We're not going to buy your
fights.
Won't
even buy your fight. Yes. So I would have appreciated if she just said on this Sky card on Saturday when they asked her about Jake Paul, she could have said, you know what? I still don't think he's great as a boxer, but for this event, and you know what? Shouts out to him. Then it would have made it. But you know, she basically kissed his fucking ass.
Yeah, I mean, Chan, like the whole thing that kicked that off. Like the whole thing that kicked that off is how she took a shot at Jake Paul when he knocked out Nate Robinson back in 2020.
We all don't like Jake Paul.
I mean, that's how it all jumped off. But like, what business is that of yours? Like that's something that they
mind your business. Yeah, that's all. Just mind your business.
I mean, like the thing about Clarissa is like she expects it's like she behaves in a way. It's like she expects the entire world to kiss her ass. Well, like you have to get respect. You have to give it in return.
Respect.
You know what I mean?
Just calm yourself down. Do your thing. This is why she's in the predicament that she's in.
See, I don't follow all of those social medias. I could care less what they say. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them are smack talkers. But not all of them. But I never follow the Twitter thing or the Instagram thing.
People that are in the field of boxing, so we need to be up on game. It's promoters. We'd be lost if we didn't follow
right. Because I could care less what they say. Yeah, it's the fight that I'm more concerned about.
Yeah, well, I think you're a bit quite vested in Clarissa Shields, and it's cool because at the end of the day, the facts are the facts. She doesn't sell. That number one fact. Number two fact. Yeah.
I said that.
Number two fact, she's not a nice person. Number three fact, she should have minded her business with Jake Paul. Maybe she would have been in the and if she wasn't on Twitter herself slagging off Jake Paul, she may have been in a better.
I mean, it's funny. Like if she like Chan, if she was nicer, she probably could have just hit up Jake. Hey, she could have been like, hey Jay, could I get a slot? Can I get a slot on one of the undercards?
Yeah, I understand what y'all saying, but I don't have to agree.
Yeah, but it's not but you're saying it like it's other people that's smack talking.
No, I'm saying there's a lot of, from my experience with boxing, there are a lot of them can be smack talkers, but I don't always necessarily agree with it. But not all of them are like that, but some of them are. She just seems like this person is so confident in her abilities and talk smack or whatever.
She's arrogant.
Could be.
I mean, I'm telling you, like that fight with Savannah
Look
Marshall happens.
Look how Bud Crawford is. Don't you think he's confident, or would you say he's arrogant? I would say he's confident.
I say he's
confident.
He's confident. But he's subdued.
Yeah.
He's subdued. He's not really like a big like talker.
Yeah.
Like that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just pick your battles wisely. You didn't have to go that excessively hard at Jake Paul because it wasn't. And then you betted that you would fight him, and you said you'd whoop his ass to pull it to post on Twitter. Yeah, he still didn't respond to you because he said, "I don't speak to ladies like that." Still didn't respond, and she kept on going. Not what she did it. She did it to Julius. She chatted shit to Julius when all Julius did is built up her name on his channel, and because he critiqued it, because he made a critique what he does with all boxers, she fucking went out on a big Twitter warfare. She's just not a nice person, and I couldn't give two shits. So sorry. Serves her right.
I know who I got in the fight with LadyChann.
Right.
I
she
got
should
a fight.
feel lucky that at least somebody's picked up the reins and that she's got a free fight deal, and just take that free fight deal. Whoever wins out of you and Savannah Marshall, just whatever. And she says she's going back to MMA anyway because she's got some championship things that she needs.
PFL,
yeah. So she's not going to even be staying in the sport of boxing much longer. So when you put that out there, you know how easy it is that they could just rob her. Be like, you know what? It's your best in interest. We're going to make sure Savannah Marshall wins anyway. You'd open your mouth too much.
Yeah. I don't think that fight's going to the cards anyway.
You open your mouth too much. You're showing them your hand. Why are you telling everyone, well, I'm going back to UFC because I've got MMA because I've got to make sure that my technique's in, and there's this big thing going on, like you said, this PFL in 2023. So basically, effectively, this is her last fight on the contract anyway. She's not even given herself up as an option to be re-signed. You've basically just shut the door saying, anyway, I'm leaving boxing.
Chan, here's the thing. I think if she loses to Marshall, she's going to do that. But if not, she'll stick around. She'll probably stick around in boxing. That's what I think.
They won't sign her because of all. Ben Shalom's very pissed off with her at the minute, saying, I'm not going to be backed up. She signed. I still think that they should have it in London. Because fuck having
it. Is he mad? Is he mad?
Why did you sign for it then?
I mean, is he mad because like she's making it difficult for where the fight should be? Is that why?
Yeah, but he said she's under contract, so if
I mean, nothing you can do about that. Then the fight's going to be where the fight's going to be. You ain't got no say in that.
Yeah, but still, it's just like I believe that the fight should be, but it's like, why did you sign? It was okay to have that. You signed it because you was quite happy. Because no one else has given you no money. So it was kind of like, oh, God, look, I've got a free fight thingy. Let me sign. And then now as she saw the wheels turn in motion, she's like, hold on, I'm not doing that. I don't need to fight over there. But you do because you've just signed for it. I wish you would have got better counsel to say, you know what, can't we have that fight in somewhere where it's neutral to all? But I don't know. Yeah, I'm done with Clarissa Fields. Like, it's just like...
Yeah.
By the way,
it's not like she's 30, 32, 35, where her boxing career needs to cease. She's only 24 or 25. How old is she?
25, 26. Yeah.
She's young, isn't it?
Yeah, she's young, yeah.
Yeah. So she keeps shooting herself in the foot. You could be raking that dough. Do you know what I mean? You could be raking that dough. Do you know what I mean? Like, she needs to chill, man. She doesn't do it.
Chan, by the way, Chan.
Tony Reviews in the building. What up, Tony?
Tony, what's good?
Tony Reviews.
By the way, Chan. I know you said you never interviewed, but I'm just picturing an interview with you guys, and it's nothing but.
Don't. It wouldn't work. She'd probably be all good because I've seen her in places that she's not nice. I don't know. Maybe she just likes to.
I mean, I mean, you're going to keep it true. You're going to keep it 100, and you're going to say something that she's going to then out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'll say something.
Hold on,
like, and then she'd be like, "Hold on, don't you know I'm the GOAT?" And I'd be like,
"No, you're not. No, you're not."
And I'd be like, "You are the GOAT, but at the end of the day, you're not doing yourself any favors." It would just go like she would expect me to not give the facts. Yeah, she would expect me to kiss her ass, which I wouldn't. I'd have to be respectful, but I would only have to kiss her ass. you see how I chop it up with people. It's the same way I answer the horrible questions, same way. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know why I'd have to do it any different to you. You know what I mean? So she don't do herself any favors. So just get beat by Savannah Marshall, because that's what I believe is going to happen, and just go to MMA where you are, or where you're already defeated. See, you ain't even got girls like you, that look like you rocking with you. Look, I'm not even rocking with her. So imagine other Joe Bloggs ain't rocking. Could you imagine? Come on, man. You just shoot yourself in the foot, man. Chill out. Just, yeah, she could be. She's just confident. She's nice. Okay.
All right, if you think so.
Yeah.
I don't,
That's
but
your opinion. Just your opinion. Like, and she could have just had some. Yeah, you're rocking with her, Ayo. I'm not. I couldn't care. I don't care out of them two who wins. I don't even care. If Savannah wins, Savannah wins. If Clarissa Shields wins,
but therein lies the problem.
Like, I don't care if none of them.
Like you said, the fact that you say you don't care, therein lies the problem.
Why? Why do I have to care about Savannah Marshall?
Yeah, but that's the problem. You basically said that this fight that Sky trying to build up isn't going to get any interest, because if you don't care, and a lot of people feel the same way is about the fight.
No, but I care enough to no. But see that, like, I don't. Meaning, it's not that I don't care about the fight happening. I'd like to see the fight, but I don't care who wins.
Yeah, but I think what's happening is that a lot of people, Sky building it up, building it up as, you know, as some sort of rivalry, and as good as versus evil, the bad-tempered yet American against this quiet, earthly, you know, working class girl from the northeast. That's how they're building it up.
Oh, please.
But that's what they're doing. That's exactly what's happening.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
But that's how Sky are building it up. That's how they're building it up in this country.
Yeah, bollocks though, Ken.
I know it is, but that's how they're building it up. You got. That's how they're trying to sell the fight, because both Savannah Marshall was a quiet girl with very little personality. Christian Shield is a live wire with a bad temper. Yeah. So
it's good,
you know,
it's
good
versus the villain in the that's how they're billing it. You know how they do.
Also, the fact that they're amateur rivals as well. Too.
And they're amateur rivals, and she got beat by her in the Emmys. I mean, Floyd Mayweather didn't even sign Clarissa Shields. Why does everybody want to jump down our necks?
Yeah, but he signed Savannah.
He's from the same state.
Yeah, but he signed Savannah Marshall. What did he do with Savannah Marshall when he signed her for Floyd Mayweather? What did he do?
He didn't do fuck all. But this is what I'm saying. But it was a stab in the back of Clarissa Shields. Don't you think Floyd Mayweather should have signed Clarissa Shields? He would have arguably been able to make that girl like a superstar. Like, he should have signed her.
Yeah, they're from the same area.
Yeah, he should have. There's not even anything that I can go, well, the reason. No, he should have signed her. I thought that was foul. It's ridiculous. So if Floyd didn't care, is what I'm saying is that why does the masses care? Obviously, Floyd saw some kind of notoriety in signing the only girl that had beaten her, like a fucking. He's just looking at it at money. Didn't work out. Looking at it at money, and you know, it's just he was foul. He should have did that. Yeah. It does sound the UK billing the black woman as the villain. Of course, you know they're gonna do that.
I just saw her and him recently, a couple of weeks back.
Say that again.
Sparring or doing something. I saw them recently sparring or doing something on Fight Hype, I think.
Yeah. So what was supposed to happen is, you know, she was brought over at the DAZN card in New York. So Eddie brought her over, even though Sky refused to appear to do any, you know, media for at Eddie's.
So they were the Stevenson Valdez fight. That's why all of them were there.
So what happened is, let me finish now, and I'll put you the builders in. So what happened is, hang on, just losing my train of thought. So what happened is, there was supposed to be, because Clarissa Shields said there was supposed to be a press conference with Savannah Marshall in New York. So they wanted to kind of piggyback off of this Women's Undisputed onto that. But Savannah Marshall, I heard there was, you know, like you're hearing problems with people getting in that's affiliated with who they're affiliated with, MTK, to get into the States. But nobody knew that there was going to be a press conference until Clarissa Shields let it like spill that, because she was pissed off that she was like, Savannah Marshall was supposed to be here to, you know, to do a press conference and promote the fight, and she didn't turn up. But yeah, now we're finding out, yeah, she didn't turn up because I don't think she could get access to America. It's all a mess now.
Wow.
So,
yeah, I've been hearing some stuff. Yeah.
Just all, yeah, it's all a big mess. Hi, Mal. Hey, Mal. Hey, Mal. What up,
Coach?
Mal?
Can you hear me?
What's up, Coach? What's up?
Mal?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, we can hear him.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me hold on. Let me turn this Bluetooth off.
Yeah, the Bluetooth it sounds a bit fishbowly.
By the way, Chan and Clarissa in a fight. I got Chan by way of knockout.
No, I've got Clarissa. She's the boxer. You like, bitch, you bitch. She's from Flint.
No, I'm talking about
My battles.
I'm talking about a street fight. I'm talking about a street fight.
Still pick my. She's from Flint.
Yeah.
Do I have to reiterate?
Yeah.
She's from Flint. I can imagine how much boys she beat up in Flint.
I'd be rooting for you though.
Up. I bet you she, yeah, root for me. Yeah, look, I'll be rooting for you though. You know, at my hospital bedside.
I know you can do it.
Oh my God, y'all crazy.
Like, I'd be sitting there holding your hand, like I know you can do it. But then I'd be telling her, like, I don't know what the hell she was thinking.
That would be crazy. No, yeah, no. Shouts out to Shields, man. Like, you come on, man. We want to root for you, girl. Like, to stop shooting yourself in the fucking foot, man.
But it's just when she comes out with some BS, it's like, oh
yeah,
my God.
Kind of said you survived lead water. Yeah, I don't think she was drinking that at the time.
She what now? She had what?
She's trying to say she's tough because she survived lead water, but I don't think she weren't drinking that when that time, was she?
Lead water.
Lead water, Flint,
Michigan. Yeah, Flint.
Oh,
water.
Okay.
Was she affected? Was she in? Was she out? Wasn't she out of there by then, sis? Or maybe was she still there?
You know what? I gotta look at the documentary because it is something about it, but I'm not sure. But I believe that's why she wears the blue hair when she fights.
Yeah.
So that's so sad. What's sad is that they still haven't fixed it. But I know she do a lot for her city and sends water and stuff. Yeah, it's really sad.
She can't street fight. I've seen enough of her in MMA to know that any girl who's used to fighting would lay on top of her. Yeah, she couldn't get her off. Yeah, that's true. Actually.
Yeah, but those women are trained. Okay. That woman was a judo. She doesn't know that.
You got a channel from the streets. Just push her off. She couldn't get her off for 2 rounds. It was 2 rounds she lost, didn't it?
Yeah, judo is not easy, I heard.
Mal.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
How do I sound?
Normal. Clear.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was in a spot where the connection was bad. I was just in the gym and
sounded like using
the connection was just terrible.
Sounds okay.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you were specifically dived into?
Oh no, I was just listening to the show. To the show and
I was like, Mal's coming in for the Clarissa Shields debate because Luther and Mal are the Clarissa Shields. Yeah, Mal really likes Clarissa Shields a lot because he's followed her since the Olympics.
Yeah. I followed her.
Her whole story. It's sad.
Amateurs.
Wow.
Sit around the TV, man, and just watch her. You know what I mean? So, when a guy, you know what tripped me out? Like, I tell people time and time again, for whatever the reason you like a person, athlete force, that's your reason. Nothing wrong with it, whatever the case may be. I followed, I follow her. You know what I mean? I haven't, and I'm very familiar with with Savannah Marshall as well. but I don't have a, but I didn't follow.
Yeah, you don't care about her story. Neither do I.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't. That's not I don't care about it. Just I don't have a connection with her like that. You see what I'm saying? So people feel passionate about, who they feel for whatever the reason may be. Maybe they're from the same country as you. Maybe they're from the same city as you. Maybe they speak the same language as you. Whatever the reason may be, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it is what it is. You know what I mean? So, all that trying to, change, why people should, like somebody or root for somebody, is crazy as hell to me, because the same people who are trying to get you to change are the same people who doing the same shit that they're accusing you of anyways.
Yeah, because that's like me trying to convince. That's like me trying to convince Lisa to like Tyson Fury, or that Tyson Fury deserves to be deemed as one of the greatest in the thingies. You don't like him, so it doesn't matter what I say.
Yeah, they doesn't like me. I don't have, like me personally, I don't have an issue with Tyson Fury. I think he's a great fighter for this era. But I had a guy call me yesterday, and he was like, "Oh man, you don't want to give Fury his props, this and that." And I'm like, dude, you can't have it both ways. You can't tell me before the fight that Dillian White did not deserve to fight. He did not deserve to fight Tyson Fury. That Dillian White was a bum. He really wasn't that great of a fighter. So you tore him down before the fight. So that means anything that Tyson Fury does to him in the ring, you can't sit back and say that Dillian White was trash, and he did look like trash that night. I'll hold on to that. I don't give a fuck. Sorry about that. I don't care whether he's black or Jamaican. It doesn't matter to me. He looked like trash. He looked like garbage can Dan that night. Yeah, I'm just being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? And my criticism is based on his performance. It's not the fact that he lost the fight. It was the fact that how he lost the fight. You didn't do nothing, dude. You didn't do nothing. So but to go back on what I was addressing yesterday, you can't tell me that this guy was garbage before he stepped in the ring. He didn't have any skills before he stepped in the ring. He didn't belong in the ring with him because it's going to be a wash. And then when Tyson Fury does everything that you guys say he's going to do, you're going to use that as a barometer to say this is proof that he's the greatest fighter in the history of boxing. No, it doesn't work that way. And when I point out the hypocrisy and the devil, when I point out how asinine that is, like, dude, this doesn't even make any sense. How if the guy was garbage and trash, how you gonna rate the guy who beat him as the greatest fighter in the history of boxing for beating trash, for beating someone who was no good? Oh, well, no, we didn't really mean it that way. What we meant now was, now you're trying to change it. You can't have it both ways.
That's what I'm saying. You're right.
Yeah, I point that out.
Yeah, I don't drink the Kool-Aid. I just look at, like I said, you can't go by fantasy fights or this and that. You can just break down the styles.
I'm gonna probably do a show on it anyway, on this of this era, greatest era. We'll talk about Tyson Fury another time. Yeah.
Yeah. But as it relate to
Clarissa Shields wasn't even she wasn't even the topic, but I don't know how we got onto her because we was talking about the Sky Coach. Now it's gone on to Clarissa Shields. But go on.
So the topic is what still Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano?
Well, we just was going into. I was just going to change it, but now that you're here, you can give your take, and then I'm going to go on to Shakur and Shakur and Valdez. Sorry.
Oh, Shakur. We go on to Shakur and Oscar. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm debating with this guy on Twitter right now. I'm having a battle on Twitter right now. You know what I mean? I'm up 6 rounds to 0.
Bodying, as usual.
I'm up 6 rounds to 0 on Twitter right now with you guys. You know what I mean? So he's losing. So this guy says on Twitter, if Oscar Valdez would have had Robert Garcia in his corner, the fight would have been totally different.
If Oscar Valdez if Oscar Valdez would have had, say that again.
If Oscar Valdez would have had Robert Garcia in his corner,
Yeah.
the outcome would have been totally different. He would have beaten Shakur Stevenson. So, me being the sarcastic a-hole that I am, I said, sir, with all due respect, Oscar Valdez could have had the great Georgie Benton, Lou Duva, Angelo Dundee,
Customato,
Emmanuel Stewart,
Ray
Customato, Freddie Roach. He could have had all of them in his corner at the same time, wrapped into one super duper trainer. The outcome would have been the same. He would have got the brakes beat off of him because he simply did not have the skill set to beat Shakur Stevenson. Period.
boom.
Period.
To add to that,
I don't give a damn.
that was only one.
Wow. Who's this?
Hi, Drew. Hi, Drew. Hi, Drew.
And that was him.
Oh, it's Drew. It's Drew. Oh, okay,
What's going
go
on,
ahead.
fellas?
Sorry, I was just like,
LadyChann, how you doing?
what up,
Hi,
guys?
how are you?
I was gonna say, Coach, the only way Oscar was gonna
Yes,
win
sir.
was if he made it a dirty fight, and he didn't want to go through what he had to go through to make it that fight.
That was exactly.
I was there.
You know, he would have had to
Me
make it a
and
dirty
Rob
fight.
Boy,
Yeah.
me and Rob Boy was like 10 rows up. We had great seats on top of the action. Shakur
Right.
doesn't like it to the body or like getting hit, period. But he's not the Mexican fans that was trying to clown. I'm like, bro, he's in the pocket 95% of the fight.
Yeah.
He's not running. He's
And
there.
I said that. And I said
know he
that.
wasn't
I
running.
said
But
that
I'm gonna
before the
move
fight
on.
started. I
I'm
said,
gonna-
no, Shakur's not going to be running. Now, he did run he did.
The 12th round,
Go ahead.
he did the fucked up thing where he just was like, bye. Yeah.
And
No, that's what I was
my
gonna
issue
say.
with him.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
like
my
that.
issue
I
with
don't like
him.
that.
Like,
I don't like that.
you
No,
got
that's what I was going to say.
you got Mexican fans. They're like this. If you give them 30, 40 seconds of toe-to-toe action to end the fight, you win them over. They're happy. But when you do that stuff, I'm like, bro, like, come on. Like, that's the difference between two.
To be fair,
That's
he
the
wasn't
difference
trying to
between
win
two.
over
Go
the
ahead.
Mexican fans. To be fair, he wasn't trying to win over the Mexican fans, was he?
Well,
That was
he's
scared.
and that's the difference between crossing over and
Nah, he
just
just
being
trying.
like a little popular. Like Keyshawn, the Mexican fans was cheering him. Keyshawn came to fight. Keyshawn goes to finish guys, and sadly, Shakur, he's not built. He doesn't like to fight like that, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Not being bad, but you don't need to justify. You don't need to get validation from the Mexican fans to feel better in life. That's just my take. You don't care who likes who. He's just come to put on his show how he wants to put it. He's the Mexican fans are against him because obviously they're cheering their Mexicans, and then they've got the Puerto Ricans and the blacks that are cheering him because the Mexicans was booing him when he first came into the building. So why does he have to like win over Mexican fans? Why does he have to?
I'm specifically
why does
speaking
he
to him
got to fight?
crossing over
Why
as
does
the
he got
star
to
he
fight?
wants to be.
Why does he got to fight the way the Mexicans want him for them to like it? It's none of their business. It's no one's business. He fights the way he fights because that's how he has been trained to fight, and that's what he's did to get into the Olympics. And he doesn't tell Mexicans that they should fight how he fights so he can like them. Who does that? Mind your business.
No, that's not his. Yeah, that's not his skill set. No, he did go for the kill against Jamel Herring, and I kind of he did go against the kill with him, but Oscar Valdez. And the reason why, and I told guys, I said he's going to fight in the pocket. He's not going to run. He's going to sit right there in the pocket. Oscar's not going to be able to hit him. Oscar's not going to be able to hit him because the footwork, the check right hook, and then it's like what Drew said. He could have made it a dirty fight like a Marcos McDonald. But he wasn't willing to go through what he had to. He wasn't willing to go through. No, I'm not talking about Shakur. I'm saying Oscar. Oscar wasn't willing to go through the hell that he was going to have to go through in order to make it a dirty fight. There's a reason why he didn't do that. Because he was getting hit. And when you see a fighter that's not willing to go through hell, they don't want to take that punishment. He didn't want to take the punishment. So apparently, feather-fisted Shakur Stevenson had enough pop in his punch to make Oscar say, man, you know what, man, I don't want to go in there like that. You know what I mean?
Coach, that adds to your point. Like, that has nothing to do with Reynoso. When your fighter don't want to fully commit like that, there's no game plan that can help the fighter when the fighter don't want to go through what he got to go through to win.
He lost fair and square. He was comprehensively outboxed.
Yeah.
The end.
Now, I will say this, Shan.
I don't. This is what I'm sick of. This is what I'm sick of, because I've since seeing this fight and watching Mal's show 2 days before the fight aired. Mal stated what all the excuses would come from, being from certain of the Mexican fans, and every single excuse that Mal said, they said, oh, Shakur's gonna run. Shakur don't have power. Shakur's a coward. Shakur's going to be on the back foot. Shakur's not going to stand there and trade. And they said all of this.
He doesn't have a fan-friendly
style. Mind your business. It's none of our business. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Then I went and then I looked on. Sorry, Mal. I went and looked on what people were saying after the win, and I just saw Mexican fans going in at Shakur Stevenson. Oh, he's rubbish. Oh, he trash. He's over. He's not a star. He's overrated. He's not nobody. He should have traded. He ran. We don't like him because he doesn't have power. That is some bad loser shit.
I didn't say Mexican fans. I was just saying like supporters of Shakur Stevenson. This is what they're going to say. But I mean, those supporters were Oscar Valdez. Yeah. But listen. But I will say this: all of this comparing Shakur Stevenson to Pretty Boy Floyd, there's no comparison.
Thank you, Coach, and that's what I get pissed off about.
The difference between the Shakur Stevenson and the Pretty Boy Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd would have stopped Oscar Valdez.
That's why
Pretty Boy Floyd would have stopped Oscar Valdez.
Why are you annoyed that he's compared to Floyd Mayweather?
Because nobody watched Pretty Boy Floyd. Pretty Boy Floyd wouldn't have let Oscar Valdez go 12 rounds. He would have been done in 6 or 7.
He would have stopped him. Yeah. Okay. He would have gave him a Arturo Gotti beating. That's what Pretty Boy Floyd would have done. You know what I mean? He would have gave him a Arturo Gotti beating. He would have gave it to him just like that. Now, I'm not, you know, I can see the comparison. I can see what people are saying. Yeah, but if you knew Pretty Boy Floyd, you know, fighters like Oscar Valdez, oh yeah, he beat the brakes off. He stopped those guys.
It's just because he's the number one defensively, the number one defensively sound boxer at the minute. He's been ranked as like the number one defensively sound. So I think that's where the comparison comes in with Floyd. But why? But why is it anybody else's business? Why you lot don't like him anyway? So why is it your business? Why does he got to fight? Look,
I like him. He want me money.
Okay, so he doesn't need validation from Mexican fan base. He doesn't need to be liked by the Mexican fan base. He doesn't have to fight like a Mexican, nor does a Mexican have to fight like a black fighter, and nor does a Asian fighter have to fight like a black fighter. Mind your business. Who are you? If I have to be point blank and a period, who are you? How dare you tell someone that they're supposed to give up their greatest attributes so you guys can beat him? Who are you? Mind your fucking business.
That's why they're not in the boxing ring.
But the consumer has the right to want what they want.
No, the consumer don't have the right to tell no boxer that's put himself through any fucking training camp, and spent his money, gone through the Olympics, been robbed, did what he's doing, for him to then get all his strengths to give them what to you, to make you feel better. Get the fuck out of here. Not you, Drew.
It's all right.
Whoever's got that frame of mind. Whoever's got that frame of mind, get the fuck out of here.
But the pain, you know.
He don't have to fight like a Mexican. He don't have to. It doesn't matter paying cost.
No, I don't. I'm
like a Mexican.
I'm not saying that.
That's what they wanted him to do.
Let me ask you a quick. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what they wanted them to do, but no, I don't know what they wanted them to do. I'm not saying he had to fight like a Mexican.
Yeah, well, Drew's just telling you Drew's Mexican, so Drew's telling you what he knows of the Mexican fan base wanted to do. You just heard Drew say it.
I got something to say about that.
I was there. Me and Ron Boy was in a section with all Mexicans. I'm Mexican.
I know you're Mexican, Drew.
I like to see fighters commit to finish an opponent when they can finish an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Shakur didn't have to fight like a Mexican to finish Oscar. It's just that's not. If we're being honest, Shakur don't like combat the way Bud Crawford likes it, the way Keyshawn Davis likes it, the way the guys that want to hurt the other guy. He don't fight like that, and that's okay.
Don't go and watch him. Just go and watch Keyshawn Davis and go and fight.
And that's why the ceiling for Shakur in terms of crossover appeal in America is lower than Keyshawn, because they were cheering Keyshawn. Keyshawn's a dog. Like Keyshawn, he likes when Keyshawn gets hit, that's when he gets excited. Same thing like Bud, and same thing like other guys. When they're in a fight, they want to get hit. They want to hurt the other opponent. Shakur don't like that. He don't fight like that, and that's okay.
No, he doesn't, and it's okay. And he's a silver Olympian. I'm sure he doesn't care what Keyshawn gets cheered. I'm sure he cares about that. He made his money. He's a unified champion. Beat the brakes off of Oscar Valdez. Beat the brakes and stopped Jamel Herring. Two-time weight division champ. Well, I'm sure he doesn't care. I'm sure he doesn't care.
So what would be next for him? Like
undisputed.
Yeah, I know. He say he want to go be undisputed, but we all know in boxing it's not as easy as saying, hey, this is what I want and this is the way it's going to happen. So I'm gonna say, I say all that to say this: those other two belts are not with it's not with Top Rank.
No, doesn't have to be with Top Rank.
They're
not with PBC either.
No, I don't think they're with the PBC. I think one is with
Golden Boy.
I think one is with Golden Boy and one is vacant. I think the IBF is vacant.
No, the IBF is with a Chinese or Japanese.
Yeah, I thought that too. But I went on, when you go on IBF's website, I looked at it yesterday while I was on the show, and it says that it says as of May. It was April this year. In May, the belt was vacant, and I don't know how it became vacant.
Coach, I'm gonna tell you what's next, and it's a good fight. I want to see the Navarrete fight with Shakur, because Navarrete at least don't make Shakur knock him out because of the pressure and the volume.
Yep.
And the weird
Navarrete
angles.
got a belt.
And that'll be an entertaining fight.
Has Navarrete got a belt, Drew?
No,
he's at 126
because it's a top fight.
126, isn't he, Drew?
He'll move up. That's been the talk out here in LA.
Hasn't got a belt, Drew. Is Navarrete a champion? Okay, so if you want to be undisputed, why is he going backwards and fighting Navarrete? Because as far as we was concerned, Valdez was trying to duck Shakur to fight Navarrete, and for some reason it all fell apart. So let Valdez, who lost, go and fight Navarrete.
The politics won't let Shakur be undisputed at 30.
Yeah, I don't. Hey, Drew, I don't see that happening either, because this is the thing. You know, Bob Arum only likes to have in-house fights, just like the PBC. So he very seldom you'll see his fighter go fight another fighter with another promotional company. You very seldom see that. And me knowing that, the chances of him becoming undisputed at 130 is going to be next to impossible. I don't see it happening unless Bob Arum changed his 90-year-old ways and say, you know what, kid, I'm going to go ahead and make this fight with another company, something that I normally never do, where you have to twist my arm to do it and make it happen. With, this is what it's going to be, or the people on the other side of the street who have the belt he's going to have to want to, hey, I want to fight Shakur Stevenson to try to become undisputed. No one's going to want to fight that kid at 130. He can forget trying to land a big fight after Oscar Valdez. Because no one's going to want to fight him.
How do we know this?
No, I know.
Why is everybody just like preempting? Like one person's on the panel saying that Shakur Stevenson coming from 126, now already being a champ at 126, now a champ at 130, should only go back to 126 or wait at 130 for Navarrete, who has no belt, because he feels that that's going to be a fight that Shakur is going to post.
Well, no, Chan, I want to see him be undisputed. I want him to go for undisputed at 130.
I was saying what Drew just said.
it would mean that Navarrete would have to go up, but I would like to see him undisputed, yes.
Yes.
But I don't know what the
Yeah.
politics, like
Yeah.
Coach said, I don't know what the
Because
Big
because
mouth
the,
drop.
the other
well,
because the other champions Kenichi Ogawa is IBF, he's on Matchroom, and Roger
Mal
Gutierrez.
saying that
Yeah.
Mal, that's why he dropped off.
Oh.
Mal saying that he looked on the site and see, because Julius had said that guy is the
Ogawa, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
Mal's looked on the IBF.
Yeah, he's the current IBF champion. Yeah, he just won the belt. He just won the belt. He's on Matchroom, and I think that fight could potentially happen because Top Rank and Matchroom have worked together before. And Jules was saying, like, you know, Bob Eddie was on the phone with them recently discussing some upcoming fights, and hopefully that was one of them. You know, that's what he was saying.
Yeah,
So
maybe
that fight could be made. You know, with Shakur and Ogawa, and I believe will beat Ogawa easily. He'll take that belt if that happens.
The nerve of people.
Yeah.
I just can't believe this. That's like the like logical sense. A dude's on the way to being undisputed, but not saying everyone. It makes sense for him to wait for someone that hasn't got a belt because you want him to wait for someone that hasn't got a belt to fight him.
well, I remember
I just want to see Drew's. Sorry, let Drew go, sis, and then you go after Drew. Because does that make sense? Does this make sense to you? All right, listen. Let me equate it to this. Bud Crawford wants to be undisputed at 47. Yeah. So you've seen who he's fought. So who he needs to fight for the other 3 belts is Errol Spence. But because we think, you know, it'd be a good fight to watch him fight. Someone that he just came, Victor Postol, or no, he's already fought Postol. Who did he fight at? What he cleaned out 140. He was undisputed. Go back down to 135 or wait for Postol furthermore to come up to 147 with no belt. That's not going to aid him for undisputed because we want him to do that.
Does he want to be active? Does he want to just wait around and not do nothing, or does he want to be an active fighter?
From a backward place, mate. You're not making sense because you're being biased.
That's perfect sense. Like, no, it's not biased. It's like
nobody wants to see Navarrete against.
You don't want to see it. That will sell here in LA.
If we have to, we don't care what sells in LA. This is what
you
I'm
don't
saying.
Care, but Top Rank does.
You don't run his career. His career is he wants to be undisputed because he beat Oscar Valdez, and the way he beat him, you don't like it. Now you're putting all of these. Who
said I don't like it? I never said that. Who said I don't like it?
You just said that. You just
no, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I never said that. I said I'm happy he made me money.
Yeah, no, you said I don't like what he did on the 12th round, and I don't like what he did because he's not going to be crossed over to Mexicans. And I said,
I said he's not going to be a crossover star. He keeps doing that.
Why does he need to cross over to?
Because he wants to take the #1 spot. He said he wants to be a star. He said he wants to be the cash cow. You're not going to be a cash cow fighting like that.
So the #1 spot that he wants to do is undisputed. But according to you, who Oscar Valdez was supposed to fight Navarrete, he was supposed to fight Shakur Stevenson. We all knew why Oscar Valdez was ducking Shakur Stevenson, and as we just seen what happened to him on Saturday night. So now he is now supposed to. Shakur is now supposed to say, actually, Oscar Valdez, thank you. Like all of the shit that you did, you know, I still took your head off. But let me now fight Navarrete because it makes your fan base feel better, and me just to sit back on my laurels and not try and at least attempt to go for undisputed because I've already got 2 of the belts.
It makes sense for him to stay active. You're not listening.
Because of you.
It makes sense. That's the fight they're gonna make. It makes sense for Top Rank. It makes sense for both their fighters. Okay, here's a paycheck until we can get him another big fight. You want him to just sit down for 8-9 months or be active?
Why is he?
Do you want him to sit down for 8 or 9 months?
Why is he sitting down for 8 or 9 months? Why is he sitting down for 8 or 9 months? Why?
As we've seen, these cross promotions don't come together right away. You really think if PBC has the other belt, he's going to get sent over there to ESPN? Come on.
Well, can you let him try? So you can let him try.
They can't even make the Spence Crawford fight, and Crawford's not even on ESPN anymore.
That's 2 different.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It's 2 different companies trying to work together.
Let's let the little young buck attempt first. and then we'll go from there. Instead of
He's
saying
more likely to become undisputed at 35 than 30.
Okay, we'll let him try at 30 because so far he's unified, and I guess if he listened to people like you, he wouldn't have even been unified.
No, I wanted to see him fight Valdez.
Yeah, of course you did.
I did. I made money off that.
Malachi in the build, Dizim. What up, Mal? Sorry, Mal, you dropped off. Sorry,
yeah,
Mal.
yeah. My phone had got hot, and you know how the phone had got hot. Can you? My avatar's not showing. I don't know why.
I like this one though. I don't know what it is.
It's showing the OBS.
What is that?
It looked like a boomerang, like a blade, like that one Blade threw in his movie. It looked like that boomerang.
Yeah. It's crazy. No, hey Sam, but no, what I was saying was,
then Kenny, you can go next. So, and Lisa, then Kenny. Sorry.
Yeah, Bob Arum is going to have to be willing, Shan, to work with other promoters. He's going to have to be willing to do that, and if he's not willing to do that, I don't know how Shakur can become undisputed at 130 when he has if his promoter, if I just go by his promoter's track record, I'm not saying he's not going to become undisputed at 130. We won't know. Only time will tell. But it's to the decision of the promoter from what he has shown from a historical standpoint. I don't see that. I don't see that happening unless those belts are with Top Rank.
No, Bob is. Where has people got that Bob is a stickler for not cross promoting at all? No, Bob doesn't work. Bob doesn't work well at all with the PBC. Bob don't like Eddie, but if he needs to make the fights with Eddie, he makes fights with Eddie.
Mm-hmm. So you're of the opinion that Shakur will be able to become undisputed at 130, and Bob would be more than willing to make those fights with other promotional companies in order for him to become.
Well, then that means you're then the reason why we all think that that Bob put this fight and sacrificed Paul Valdez over there is because of the allegations of what Terence Crawford said. Because all of a sudden the Navarrete deal disappeared. So to save face, you put him in. You know, you took care of your black fighter, and that's what we saw. So if you think that Bob is going to be able to, you think that he's going to be like, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to be in the middle of your dreams. I'm not going to facilitate you wanting to be undisputed just because I don't want to work with someone from Golden Boy. That he doesn't. How many problems has Bob? They've all sued each other in that, but how many problems has Bob had thus far going with Golden Boy? And then moving, and then also AJ's saying that there is a champion at the IBF Mal, so I don't know which one's real.
Who has Gutierrez is the WBA champ, right?
Yeah.
And who's his promoter?
Guy was the IBF champion. He's with Matchroom too. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, who's the WBA's who's Gutierrez's promoter?
I think he's Golden Boy.
Golden Boy.
And Golden Boy didn't want to send Munguia over to Showtime for Charlo. Are they going to send Gutierrez over to ESPN for Shakur?
Yeah, maybe not. And one's with Matchroom, so I don't know. I'm just like, I think everyone's preempting. Oh, he can't get undisputed at 130. Like the dude's just won the second belt. Like he ain't even got. He just got out of his bed. He just got out of his bed to get to the arena. He ain't even come back to his bed yet. And everyone's like, well, you know, he may as well just forget about being undisputed at 130 because, you know, he's not going to be able to do it. And he should fight Navarrete because, you know, he may have to wait out for 9 months. Who knows if he has to wait out for? I wonder. You guys should be intel. I mean, Drew's got a lot of intel. Like you should be.
No, and then I was just at the fight. They were the Navarrete's the talk from the top rank executives of like his next. They want Shakur to fight 3 times a year. He can't fight a champ every time.
Yeah, but I know.
Canelo did. Yeah, Canelo did.
Canelo has the leverage to do that.
Canelo just fought one that wasn't a champ, which was Yildirim. But other than that, Canelo every fight he took was a champ. And then nobody said, "Oh, Canelo can't be undisputed because he's with Eddie Hearn and the last belt is with PBC."
Canelo's
I never
an
heard
outlier.
you guys saying that.
Shakur's
I never heard
everybody
saying that.
People fighting Shakur aren't getting retirement money though.
Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy.
It's not the same. It's 2 different scenarios. Canelo is an outlier. You can't compare Canelo to Shakur when someone's gonna be like, damn, I'll wait and I'll get $10 million.
I could compare anyone that I want
to. It's an illogical fallacy using that as a comparison, though.
Same way that what the Mexicans want. Okay, I know what the blacks want because we're comparing. Yeah, you compare to what you want, and I'm comparing to what I want to compare to.
This is my opinion. I don't think that Bob wanted this fight. He wanted the Valdez and Navarrete fight. Now, for whatever reason, this Shakur and Alvarez fight. I mean, not Alvarez. Valdez fight came up, but the other day at the presser before the fight, he walked off stage.
Yeah, he did.
If anybody saw that, so I thought that was kind of weird.
Why did he do that? Why? Go on, Drew.
And Shakur is very vocal. He's a very vocal person.
So, Drew, why did you reckon that happened? Because Bob had COVID last week, and why he couldn't come to Fury White. All of a sudden, that COVID's really cleared up, and then
his COVID cleared up like Dr. Fauci.
Yeah. Dr. Fauci.
He didn't look good. He didn't look good. His eyes was real red.
No,
he didn't look good to me.
He didn't make himself available to the media like he usually does for the fights. After the fights, he took off right away. But I think
he sat there on stage for everybody except for Valdez and Shakur. And
after, weird. Like around the ring with like doing all the other, not the actual.
We're talking about Drew in the press conference when he was at the press conference, and then when it was for the two fighters to be on stage at the same time, he got up and walked off. We're not talking about the fights. Why have you quantum leaped to the future, to the fight? We're addressing that bit. So why did he?
I'm saying like when someone said that he didn't look too good, like he didn't look healthy. Okay, and I'm like, maybe that's why he didn't stay around like with the other meet. Like, people ask for interviews or pictures right after. He didn't do that like he normally does.
Okay, so why did he leave at the press conference?
I didn't see that press conference. I don't know.
Okay.
I was at the fight. I was at the fight. I didn't have time to watch the press conference when you're at the venue.
Yeah, go ahead, Kenny.
No, I'm just
when people just don't keep the same energy and everybody just plays dumb. It just pisses me off. It just really does.
I think what's happening is that in terms of like Bob Arum, everyone knows what Bob Arum is, that he's got a warped idea of what he thinks, which fight he thinks is marketable, and you just have to draw your own conclusions on why he does that. I still think that the old guy is bad for boxing, and it's time that he hang up his his law papers and went back and enjoyed his retirement. I don't, because simple reason is that I've seen too many fighters over the last few years who haven't got the exposure they should have got from Bob Arum. The only fighter that recent times I've seen him get proper exposure is Tyson Fury. You have to draw your own conclusions on why that's happened. But in terms of like Canelo, the thing with Canelo, right? Canelo basically is a ticket seller, is a money seller. Doesn't matter. And one thing as well, he's not exclusively with Matchroom. He's good. There's no doubt that after this recent deal, he's going to go elsewhere. Everyone wants to fight Canelo. Canelo, what does he say when to Andrade? Payday.
He want payday. He want payday.
Canelo's a unique fighter to the extent that he will cross over. Because and he's the only fighter because of what he's achieved. Any champion, where from like middleweight upwards, is going to want to fight him because I think, what, I need that payday. There's a lot of money in boxing, but only a few fighters are getting it. So if they're going to fight someone like Canelo, it's happening. In terms of Bob Arum and promoting fighters, I've never ever considered him a top promoter. Even during the 80s, I had problems with him. So my thing with Bob Arum is going nearly 35, 40 years. Never been a fan.
And you're right. I'm gonna surprise you with something. Top Rank, they don't even have a digital social media team. Their promotion is very analog, stuck in the 70s and 80s. There's no innovation. Look at how they fucking treated Ramirez and Taylor's promotion for Undisputed. It was atrocious. They had tickets released 3 weeks before the damn fight. No shoulder programming, no nothing.
In this country as well, Drew, we didn't get to see this fight in this country. A British fighter fighting for the undisputed. You trying to say
it was disgraceful?
That fool, that old fogey, and no disrespect to anyone who may be his age on this panel. I don't know if you are or not, but he's an old fogey. He couldn't get any network in this country to get this fight. He couldn't come to BT Sport, who he works closely with because of Tyson Fury. He couldn't even come to Sky. That just shows me that this guy is bad for boxing. Bad for boxing.
He's set in his ways. He's complacent. Like, they take the network money, the site money, and that's enough for them. They're not actually out there promoting. Yeah. Bob Arum on a 23-city press tour to promote that fight. He don't do that no more. He don't put that effort in to promote anymore. And the American promoters are actively working with a silent agreement to slow down Eddie Hearn's progress in the States.
Oh, that goes without saying.
They know they can't stop him. They're just trying to slow him.
That's
Eddie's
everyone, bro.
Fucking in London. He's on the flight. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's on pace to put on 60 cards this year, all over the world. That's a promoter. That's someone trying to grow the sport. That's someone trying to make it. He's trying to make boxing fights like UFC events where you want to go all day to watch all the fights because it's fun and it's a good time. Top Rank, PBC, Golden Boy, they don't promote like that.
We got promoters like here don't do it as well. We obviously you got over here. We got people at Hennessy Sports, only does Channel 5, not great. Hennessy, Frank Warren. You know, it's been well documented even in the show that we're very warm about the undercard for the Tyson Fury fight. You know, he's been given a few keys and he doesn't know how to pick a lot. If I was Frank Warren as well, gets Francis involved much more. Francis has got a good relationship with Eddie Hearn, and maybe Eddie Hearn, Francis Foreign, his son, can learn a lot from Eddie Hearn and do that because there's some good opportunities here that, Eddie Hearn seems to be the only one taking the balls by home. But when you hear people like Oscar De La Hoya going on Twitter with, I don't know if his wife or whether it's a partner or not, going like a pork chop, trying to pretend he didn't even know who Eddie Hearn is, then it says a lot that they are blocking his progress. But let's be honest. Eddie Hearn's got just as many enemies in this country as he has in the United States. It's not just United States promoters are blocking him. His last few, like I said, outings of Sky were just first-class rubbish, really. The reason why Sky wouldn't give him is cut his money because he wasn't producing. If Eddie Hearn produced and gave us Wilder versus Joshua, we don't know why that happened. Either way, it didn't happen, and Sky have blamed Eddie Hearn for it. So, it's not just the US where they're trying to block him. We're not massive. We're not completely enamored by Eddie here anyway. As far as I'm concerned,
you're not. Ed, you're not because
I'm not.
You're a Tyson Fury fan, and you
Drew. All I can say is that you can have him. You're welcome to him.
Most of us like Eddie Hearn. Most of us
are not a fan of Eddie Hearn.
He don't like Eddie Hearn, so that's coming from
you can have him.
Bias, Kenny.
No, it's not going to that. I think Eddie Hearn did deliver in his last few. It's very with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn didn't add the keys, and what's happened, right, is that after Joshua and Klitschko in 2017, he dropped the ball.
Kenny, he's doing.
Now let me ask you this, Kenny.
How comes
all
BT,
the promoters?
How comes BT didn't? How comes BT's budget has never been increased if Frank Warren cards have been so amazing?
I'm not saying Frank Warren's great anyway, but the thing is that we Sky are the biggest boxing providers in this country, and the fact is we heavily relied on Eddie Hearn to produce the goods. And unfortunately, after Joshua Klitschko, a lot of fight fans like myself were disappointed. Not personal as Eddie Hearn, we just felt that at the time he wasn't delivering the goods, and that's proved upon him. As soon as Barney Francis, like I said, resigned as the head of Sky Sports.
Sky wanted him back. Sky was bartering. Remember, they was warring. They was in a bidding war to extend Eddie
Hearn. The only time Eddie Hearn had this case was when his mate, Barney Francis at Sky Sports, managed to give him a bigger budget. But even towards the end, after they happened, Sky wanted him back, but they wanted him on a reduced budget. That's why he went to DAZN, because Sky cut his money because he wasn't producing the goods. And in terms of DAZN, he's got a lot of good fighters both here in the Atlantic, but they are having to put more money in because at the moment Eddie isn't able to develop the numbers. I'm sure he'll be able to do that, but at the moment, DAZN are very concerned with Eddie's performance. At the moment, it's not even a year into the contract. He went there in June, and we're now coming up to May, so it's 11 months. DAZN are having to cover the losses because at the moment, DAZN boxing is operating at a loss.
Well, Eddie bought himself some time getting 3 Canelo fights.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
But let me ask you this, Kenny: out of all the promoters in the game, who's the one actually trying to grow the sport of boxing worldwide?
Well, without a shadow of that, Edward Hearn. It's not that about that. Because
we're all gonna bitch and complain. We're all the same. We love boxing. But like you go back to Top Rank, they had the keys for so long and they didn't grow the sport.
Yeah, true.
At all.
Yeah, but don't you? The thing is, right? I have a lot of. This is the first time me and you have been on a show where we spoke exclusively. I generally believe. I generally believe that it's not for a want of trying. I generally believe that boxing in the United States is competing with other major sports. I mean, if you had told me 40 years ago when I was like in infant school that basketball would be bigger than boxing in America, I thought you're a pork chop. But that's the king. Boxing in the United States from this is someone from North London who grew up on all these great fights from the United States. Alexis Aguayo, fighters like, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Hearns, Marvin Hagler, even Iran Barkley, who, gave Tommy Hearns a couple of hidings. All those kind of fighters, Mike Tyson, obviously, Evander Holyfield. What the return I'm getting now is that I don't see an interest from the United States, which I consider.
And I'm going to tell you why.
That's because they're not building stars.
Yeah, that's a combination of stuff. It's a combination of our culture.
How is a boxing mega country like the United States allowing UFC, MMA to dominate them? I'm not.
Because they fight each other.
I just don't get it. It's a shame.
A combination, Kenny. Like I went out there for Usyk, AJ. Yeah. UK fight fans follow all of boxing. They don't just follow UK fighters.
You at the stadium as well? Because I was there as well.
I was there. Yes, I loved it. Had a blast. UK fight fans follow the entire sport of boxing. They don't just follow UK guys. You guys are well versed in like Crawford could go out there and sell 10,000 tickets.
I think
Are we sticking to the topic? Here?
No, what I'm saying, we are.
Let me just rein it back in. Yeah, I need to rein this back in with Shakur.
I'm explaining why he said.
What are you explaining, Drew?
Why it's different in America now. Like the culture of American fighter is just like the culture of American citizens.
Yeah, and afterwards, rein it back to the topic.
They're spoiled, Kenny.
Right,
they don't want to fight. They don't want to go through the ringer like other fighters from other countries do.
Well, yeah, because the topic is all about Shakur Stevenson and the promotion and trying to get in fights and Borrow's not doing his job. And I think that you talk about Edward Hearn having the keys and about trying to get the sport growing. But in a country like the United States, which has produced really great fighters and many great fights, I don't understand why promoters who are Hall of Famers are dropping the ball so much. It's the interest there in American boxing.
It's because they're old. Bob Arum is old. Don King is old. They're 90 years old.
Where's the younger ones?
Top Rank has an infrastructure built in already.
They're not like
PBC
you said. They're old.
is run different. PBC is run very different, and DAZN is an app.
Okay.
Top Rank is already solidified.
Kenny, Top Rank don't have a team together like you would. Like, okay, for like, let's say for example, an actor. If you had an actor with like Shakur's talent, you're putting him out there in movies. You're booking him on late night talk shows. You're actually promoting
No way. You trying to tell me that the fighter
hasn't been on a talk show yet.
talent is not getting.
They don't do that no more.
No way.
If
Is that not
a
happening?
real promoter would have put Shakur Stevenson on tonight, he'd be on Jimmy Kimmel, or he'd be on the. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what your manager and your publicist are supposed to do.
No way.
They don't do that no more.
They don't do that.
Hang on, they used to do that in the 70s, 80s, and even in the 21st century, they're doing that.
That was then. They got to promote themselves now.
Yeah, and it's Monday. There's an NBA playoff game on ESPN. Shakur Stevenson should be courtside at that game getting camera time, but they don't do that.
In this, LadyChann, tell them what happens in this country with Tyson Fury and Josh. Tell them what happens here with this. Come on, I'm too shot to say. You take over and tell them what goes on with our fighters here and how we promote them here.
They'll be at like they'll be at high profile games. They'll be on every breakfast TV shows, the night shows. You know, like our equivalents of like Jimmy Kimmel and stuff like that. Just be everywhere like that. They'll be
They'll
keep
be
their
at
profile up and grow.
They'll be at red carpet premieres over there, right?
Red carpet premieres.
Yeah.
Yep. Red carpet premieres.
Yeah, but these men are old.
Yeah, but
they were doing it before though. Bob Aaron and Don King were having these guys on these shows and at these red carpet events.
And wasn't that 30 years ago?
We're doing it even 20 years ago.
They still have the connections, just it's complacency. Like, why do you think I didn't want to leave London? I'm like, I want to stay here. I was tired. They don't promote it like they should. It's very easy to create a star when they got the buzz.
Your visa ran out.
Oh, I'm Mexican. We know how to get somewhere and stay without having to get a visa.
I'm kidding.
Oh God.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I understand how they. Whatever, it's just different, innit? Different countries rock different ways. It's whatever.
You're dropping the ball, man. You got some.
You gotta understand too. You gotta understand too. Basketball and football, they have governing bodies over them. Boxing doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
We have Premiership football here. We have Premiership football here, but what's happened is that we have a dedicated boxing channel in Sky. Although obviously they're giving the keys to a young promoter and Ben Shalom, and he's having to work doubly hard to build the stars. But even as recently, Anthony Joshua was on every show. He was on Jonathan Ross. He was on like Graham Norton. He'd be on Soccer AM. So would Tyson Fury. They'll be all over the place
now.
Yeah,
all in Britain, everywhere.
Even when Deontay Wilder came over, he was on them shows.
Exactly.
Like, he was on Good Morning Breakfast TV and that. We know how to to promote.
Now I'm curious to know because I know Top Rank don't have a digital team, but I want to know who Shakur's manager and publicists are. That's their job too, to also get him to these events.
Jay Prince.
Jay Prince. Jay Prince. So who's his publicist? Your promoter's job is to promote your fights. Your publicist and your manager job in the state is to get you to all those other events and put you out there on the scene. And like LeBron, all these athletes in other sports, they have dedicated teams to handle their social media, handle my fucking personal engagements, handle this, handle that. Fighters that have money to do that don't do that. Hell, Teofimo didn't want to pay his nutritionist. He wanted to buy jewelry.
Idiot.
Yeah.
I think Canelo was at that level. He has the money.
Canelo has a machine behind him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and a Mexican,
maybe Earl Spence, he has a machine behind him.
The biggest draw in the United States, a Mexican. This is wrong. This is wrong. Wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong. It's bad.
Well, because the PBC don't. The PBCs run like a music industry, like a music company, like the American music company. Because Al Heyman's is a music guy, so he runs his outfit like it's a record label, like it's Def Row.
Yeah, with the 360 contracts and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, he got Floyd Mayweather in a 360 deal right now.
Right. Allegedly.
Oh yeah, allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. I love you.
I got to get over there for a Conor Ben fight now.
Kenny, you got to go.
I'm going over there.
Ken got work. And
okay, Kenny, take care.
Late today,
Lisa,
so Ken
Drew.
was a late one. And Mally Mal's going as well.
Take care.
Yeah, I gotta go too.
Nice to
All right,
see
take
you,
care, Kenny Ken and Mal.
just remember one thing, right? You don't drop the ball, people in the United States. You got golden fighters, and dropping the balls is bad. You're letting Hedy teach you how to promote in your own country, the country of showbiz, the country of Hollywood, and you're letting a limey come over to your country and teach you what to do.
Then before you go though, can you say what you saw of your rundown of the Shakur fight? How did you see? What did you? Yeah, you didn't even get to do that.
I thought all it was is that, despite the fact that they said that he got a lot of criticism for his approach, he's there to win fights. He's not there to impress anyone. He's not there to fight. Valdez's fight and get in a war. And anyway, when they did engage, what happened? Valdez got caught cleanly. In fact, I'm surprised if I was a copper and that was happening on around Finsbury Park, I would have arrested Stevenson for assault in where there was no punches thrown back. It was a demolition job. Yeah, he didn't get hold of him, but it was a very humiliating beatdown. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes, man, when you knock a fighter out, you give him a bit of hope that they made one mistake. But this guy got battered. The 12th round was humiliating. For Valdez. He got beaten up. I'm surprised I'm surprised that he's eating solid food after that 12th round. He got clean with that backhand. Clean.
And this is why I'm just like, why do people are saying that Shakur should have fought in the pocket? Why should he have?
That's not what he does.
It would have made a better fight.
That's not how he fights, though.
Exactly. What did Valdez do to make this exciting fight? Oh yeah, he got his head boxed off.
I mean, literally, like for the most. My bad, Ken. When you done? Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
He got his head boxed off.
I mean, just for me, it's like. I was on a high off of that that matchroom card we saw earlier. So I was hoping to see if the Shakur fight would be just as exciting. But man, it was like, it's like Valdez's whole it's like for the whole literally 90% of the time his style was like, what the hell do I do? How do I even get close to this guy? How do I figure him out? He couldn't do a damn thing. I mean, see, this is why I'm so because even though people saying the performance was boring, it was a dominant control performance by Shakur because even though I kind of got annoyed what he did in the 12th round, I'm kind of looking past that for what he did the rest of the fight. And it's like this, and this is like 2 champions in a row now. He's pretty much beaten with ease. Didn't even break a sweat. Didn't even break a sweat doing it. You know what I mean?
Levels. No. It's about levels, isn't it? Sometimes you can be a good champ. You can be a world champion, but the guy that you're fighting who's also at that level, there's levels, man.
Yeah, and particularly I feel bad for Oscar because literally by round 10, 11, he checked out mentally. He just wasn't there anymore.
Pulled him out. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I'm surprised. I mean, credit to him for sticking in there and toughing it out. But honestly, I'd have been like, screw this, man. I'm out. I can't do this no more. I'm just
exactly.
I'm not gonna beat this guy. Yeah.
And Kenny Ken, thank you for that.
I enjoyed myself. Thank you. You know what? I like it. You have a few battles, man. Because Drew's a good guy, man. He knows his stuff, and
Drew does know his stuff. But Drew was being quiet.
I like the fact that he's come over here and he's seen how well we promote our
I know because
fights,
I go on a platform that he's always on. I know Drew on another platform.
Definitely. But it's always good to see AJ and Lisa. And
it's good to see you too, Kenny Ken.
And thank you. Have a nice evening. I'll speak to you later.
Have a good evening.
Good evening, Kenny Ken. Rest well, love. See you later.
All righty. Take care.
Kenny Ken has left the
building.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, Chan, that's my take. It's like, I mean, but Shakur's he's what he is. He's gonna do what he does. You know what I mean? So now, like some people need they need to accept this is how we fight. This is what he does. You know what I mean?
You can't change a fighter. Yeah. You're not gonna change a fighter into what you want them to be. That's just who they are. He's more money made than pretty boy.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to say, but no.
I mean, now what I like to see is chin tested one day. Yes, that'll be interesting. I mean, just to show, see, if he has any regret and like the desire to still try to win. You know what I mean? Or like, is he just gonna like retreat in survival mode when he's really hurt and not try to like fight back, nothing like that? These are all questions I still want to know. But as far as I can tell, like, man, it's like, man, bro's on another level. Yeah.
They wanted Core to come in like this.
Listos pe los chingazos. Listos pe los chingazos.
Then he would have been. Then he would have been accepted.
Oh God.
Anyway, yeah.
There's too many different styles of boxing.
There is
too many different styles.
I know who people think they are. That's all I'm about. But guys, it's been 2 hours, and I am signing off. My cold is still kicking my ass, and yeah, I would like to thank Mally Mao on the panel, Kenny Ken on the panel, AJ O'Day on the panel, Sister Bell on the panel.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I can't got here late. Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Electro Jed was on the panel. Drew was on the panel. Someone, I feel like I'm missing someone. No, that was it.
Was Coach? You shot a Coach, right?
Yeah,
Coach Malachi.
Yeah, listos pelos chingazos. So thank you, Hector Garcia, mi esposo número uno. You can't stand Plant, I know, but I think that dropped so funny, Karma. Thank you for coming, Karma, in the build, Dizzin. TY in the build, Dizzin. Kelvin, Hector Garcia, Roller, Canna, thank you for coming. Coach Malachi, thank you for coming. TJ, thank you for coming. You was in the build, Dizzin. Haplo, you was in the build, Dizzin. Daniel Rios, you was in the build, Dizzin. Tony Reviews, you was in the build, Dizzin. Ben Adams, you was in the build, Dizzin. Everybody was in the motherfucking build, Dizzin. I could have let it go a bit longer, but yeah, I'm a bit tired. But thank you guys. Massively appreciated for coming through and like the more again. Woo. So, AJ, all day. So as we say, anyway, I'm gone. Hey girl, it's LadyChann rep none less. Come back to it, Chan. Rah! Gone. LadyChann has left the build, Dizzin. Gone! LadyChann!
Fight!